Hey guys, so I thought I would dive right in and just talk you through my thought process around why I no longer train at 4 or 5 a.m, aka crazy o'clock anymore. And it was a different one for me, and anyone that was in my close circle knew that it was quite a transition and quite a different thing for me. Quite out of my comfort zone, let's put it. So I was always someone that got up, I think sometimes it even got to as early as my alarm would go off at like 3:15 if I needed to go into the office, because I needed to smash out like a 2-hour workout before leaving the house to go to work, which took me like an hour and a half to 2 hours to get there. Anyway, madness. But I've always been a morning workout person. So, well, I've always told myself that. And that is a key sentence that I hear myself saying now. Because it's literally that. It's what we tell ourselves and what we think that we are. But I digress. So, I was always someone who worked out in the morning. I just felt I had a lot more energy in the morning, and by the end of the day, I was exhausted. Now, these days, it's interesting. And even as I say this out loud, I noticed that that's shifted slightly. I find that I feel like I may have more energy in the morning than in the evening still. But with that being said, I wake up at a very different time. I do always wake up exhausted, probably more exhausted now than I used to, or maybe I just felt like at that crazy time in the morning and being in the state that I was in, it felt like crap anyway. But I'm finding now in the afternoon and evening, especially in the evening, my mental focus is different. So I've not tested out my physical strength in terms of going to the gym at say 8 p.m. It's not really ever been my thing, but maybe it's something that I could try. But I'm finding that I'm a lot more switched on and focused, getting things done, you know, working, whether it's on client things or doing other work or whatnot. In the evening, I'm finding that I'm very, very much focused, and I could be focused on my laptop until 10 p.m. sometimes, which is quite late for me. I think there was at one point where I was going to bed at like 8 p.m. So it's just very interesting. I think the mental fatigue is very different. The physical fatigue is maybe also shifting as well. And that's also because I'm obviously healing and things feel a little bit different. But at the end of the day, the reason why I stopped training so early in the morning, and unfortunately when I look back now, it was pretty much like a light switch that just got switched off, because I was being told multiple things, which I'll go into maybe in another video. But it did pretty much change almost overnight, where I'd start to try and go to the gym and I'd be pushing myself when I knew that I probably shouldn't. And I would go, and then I think I was forced when we went away to Belize to not go to a gym and to not wake up at 5 a.m. And that's not to say that I was still waking up at 5 a.m. for the month before, but I was probably still waking up earlier. I was definitely waking up at 7 a.m. and making myself go for a walk because I felt like I felt guilty if I didn't move my body, which was very different from wanting to go out for a walk like I do these mornings because I want to just move my body, not because I feel like I have to. So it's a different type of enjoyment now, and it's a different mindset around it. But the main reason that I stopped training at 5 a.m. was because when you're a female in your reproductive years, in the morning when we wake up, naturally everybody has a cortisol spike. And it's usually your highest in the morning. There's 4 points that they usually measure when they take your cortisol level throughout the day. One is when you wake up, one's like mid-morning I believe, one is at midday, and one is after dinner. And I'll pop these time stamps from when I did my own lab work up on the screen, just so that you can get an indication of when they actually are. Because those timestamps don't change person to person. Everybody gets graded against those. And everybody has a natural cortisol spike in the morning. But when it comes to that cortisol spike in a female, by me in my adrenal fatigue, low immune system, really struggling phase, going to the gym on top of that was just further peaking that cortisol spike. And maybe in the gym at times I did feel good, but that was because I was running off adrenaline. I was not running off energy. So not only would I be going and adding fuel to that fire that was already high, that high cortisol in the morning, but I was then going to the gym, pushing it further, and before the gym I was having things like a black coffee that was usually on an empty stomach, and that was just shooting it up even further. And if it wasn't on an empty stomach, it was definitely with some form of carb that wasn't necessarily dressed up with a protein or a fat or a fiber. More on that later. Which again, carbs are not the enemy. I love carbs and I will always advocate for them. But the combination of training, black coffee before any food, or black coffee with only carbs, and then going to the gym when I've woken up at 5 a.m. was literally a recipe for disaster when it comes to cortisol spikes. And in a healthy individual, maybe this can be, you can get away with it. I probably got away with it for only so much time, until I realized that I was actually having really imbalanced blood sugar regulation. And cortisol, insulin, blood sugar is all very closely tied. And I think that's something that's really interesting to dive deeper into. So again, I'll pop that in a separate video. If you can take anything away from that, understanding that we have that cortisol spike in the morning and understanding how you can support that spike for yourself. Everyone is bio-individual and needs different things, but in general, women in their reproductive years, if you can understand that spike in the morning and really take action to support yourself in those moments, that's where you're going to see the results. So am I going to go out there and say, I'll never work out in the morning again? No. Am I ever going to tell anyone not to work out in the morning? No. I pretty much still do love working out in the morning part of the day. At the moment, waking up at 5 a.m. and working out for me is not conducive to my health or my healing journey. So if you are somebody that gets up at 5 a.m. or even 4 a.m. and does train, hopefully there's some things that you can put in place to really support your body. Because it's not that you shouldn't do it. Again, everyone is individual and everyone has different and busy lives. But there are some things that you can do to really support your body throughout that, so that you're maintaining optimal health, or at least you're supporting your body through that morning stressor, and that you can then calm down that nervous system throughout the day, so that then you're able to go out your day in a space of rest and digest, not so much fight or flight, which is what state you get into when that cortisol spikes. So in a nutshell, what I've been trying to do is find different pockets of the day, test out how my body feels working out during them, test out how my body feels afterwards, beforehand. There's been periods where I've tried some things and the next day or the next week I've had flu-like symptoms. I've been so tired, and that is an indicator that your body has pretty much gone under a little too much stress. But there has been some other things that have really worked for me, and so it's about finding what works for individuals, but it's based off of this foundation where you can try and play with different modalities for you based on your lifestyle, based on where you're at in your healing journey, based on where you're at in your health journey. You don't even have to be healing. And also based on your preferences and what you want to try and what you're open to. So that's where I'm at the moment. It will be interesting to see how that changes over time, over the next couple of months, as I start to introduce some different modalities and just see how they go. But I'll keep you updated, and what I can do is start to share with you a little bit more around what I have tried, if that's of interest, and also what I will be trying, and I can bring you along as I do try it out and sort of document how I'm feeling, how my body's reacting to it, how other people have seen success or maybe not so much, and just give you that awareness to what's out there and what might work for you. Because again, everybody is individual, but if you can make those little shifts that work for you and bring it into your own sphere in a different way, that's where you'll see the most benefit. So to all my girls that work out in the morning, keep doing it, keep smashing it, but are there little shifts that we can make that can help support your body a little bit more? Maybe it's looking at that nutrition beforehand, maybe it's adjusting that time slightly in the morning, or maybe it's just understanding how your body is responding in general and seeing where we can just add in those little extra bits of a helping hand along the way. And for everybody else that maybe doesn't train in the morning, keep smashing it, because well done. I'm finding my feet in the gym again, and I'm finding ways to move my body in a way that I actually enjoy it, and I feel like I'm a newbie again. It's humbling, it's exciting, sometimes a little bit scary, but for everybody that's moved their body today, well done. And if you haven't, get up for 5 minutes, do some star jumps, just move it. It's such an important vessel. You're with it for life, and really it does so much for you. So if you can do anything and give it a little bit of love back, just move it, just for 5 minutes. Alright guys, thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Alright, bye guys.